What is up, everyone? So in this video I want to show you guys what you could expect to pay for a studio or one-bedroom apartment in Medellin, Colombia. And this apartment is actually one of my Airbnbs, and I have someone coming in later today, so I figured what better time to show you guys around this apartment and what you can expect to pay and what you can get in turn for what you're paying. Obviously it's going to be different where you live. This apartment is in the best area of town. It's 5-10 minute walk to the best restaurants, bars, everything. And this is a city that's very popular with people that work online from the US, Europe, anywhere, make their money online, and they live in Medellin, Colombia. Cost of living is very inexpensive. I do have a cost of living video on this channel. It gives a full breakdown of what you can expect to pay for apartments, different price ranges in those, food, gas, utilities, entertainment, everything. I break down everything in that video. So if you're interested in living abroad, retiring abroad, and want a full breakdown of what you can expect to pay in Medellin, Colombia, definitely check that video out. In this video I just want to give you a tour of the studio and what you can expect to pay for studio apartments, one-bedroom apartments in the best part of town in Medellin. And also, if you're a digital nomad or someone that isn't a nomad or doesn't have an online income, I know there's a lot of people that want to live in a foreign city, foreign country, be ability to travel. That's kind of the dream, and that was my dream a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago. I was like, oh man, if I could just have a job that I could work online, I could go anywhere in the world, live anywhere I wanted to. And that was really my dream, and I think a lot of people's dreams that are stuck at a 9-to-5 job that they hate, corporate cubicle. That was me 3 years ago, and I absolutely hated my life. I was like, I have to get out of this place. It's not possible for me to do this for the next 40 years. Long story short, I did some traveling, traveled around Colombia, Asia, places like that. Fell in love with Medellin, Colombia. Decided to make this my home. At that time when I was traveling, I didn't have an online income. I just saved up a bunch of money. Was doing some traveling. Went back to the US, did some research on different things I can do to make money online. I was doing some freelance online marketing, nothing too crazy. But then I stumbled across Airbnb, actually from my roommate. He had Airbnbs in Medellin, New York City, London, and he was telling me about it, and basically I took the leap of faith, and I've scaled this to very profitable $10,000 per month business. I have not only apartments, but I help hotel out as well, and that has been very profitable for me as well. So if you're interested in learning how to make money online, my niche, my thing is Airbnb. I think it's an incredible way to make money and live anywhere you want. At first, it's not fully passive. I know a lot of people want passive income, and if you're if someone tells you you can make $10,000 passively right away, they're lying, and they're trying to sell you a $2,000 course probably, or who knows how much they're trying to charge you. But nothing's that easy. At first, you're gonna have to put some work into it, into finding the apartments, just getting experience, like running the business, day-to-day things, cleaners, management. If something goes wrong in the apartments, you're gonna have to have experience with that. But it is very easy to get passive after 6 months, a year after you've had these online, and kind of learn what you need to do. But once you've built up so many units, whether it be 5 units, 4 units, 3 units, you can have 1 unit generating $10,000 a month. I've seen people do that with more than $10,000 profit a month with 1 unit. Obviously you're gonna have to, this is going to be a very high-end unit, and it's not something that I recommend people start out with, something that's really that high-end. I recommend starting out with apartments, houses, or you can do like what I do with hotel, I just do like an arrangement where I help them with marketing, and I get a cut above what they want for the rooms. So there's a lot of ways to go about this with Airbnb. If you want a full breakdown of how to scale a business to $10,000 per month, and that's profit, not gross. You know, there's a lot of people that say, oh, build a business to 10,000 whatever a month, but it's 10,000 gross, and the actual profit that they make is, you know, not that much. My very first apartment that I got on Airbnb, I had a net profit of $2,000 per month. I get about $3,000 in total, and then all my rent, expenses, everything is about $1,000 a month. So that was a very good first property to have, and it definitely kind of motivated me to scale this as high as I can go, because there is money to be made in this. And I think Airbnb is definitely a great thing, especially right now with the quarantine and everything. I know a lot of people think, oh, Airbnb is dead, or now is not the time to do it. I think now is the perfect time to do it, or to at least learn how to do it. And then in the next few months, once things open back up, there's going to be a ton of deals. Like, there's going to be so many deals available because a lot of people are really struggling. Luckily, I have everything rented out long term, still cash flow positive, so very fortunate and happy about that. But coming out of this, I think there's going to be a ton of money to be made. And if you're someone that wants, you know, something that's semi-passive, and then eventually be almost fully passive, it's never going to be fully passive. The only thing that's fully passive is like dividend stocks, or, you know, stuff like that. But as far as businesses go, this is about as passive as you're going to get once you kind of build it up and you can automate it. And from there, you can get units in the US, and then once you automate it, you can travel wherever you want, live wherever you want. Or you can do what I've done and build and scale up in a foreign city. Actually, this is one of the best businesses to do that, because Airbnb is actually growing the quickest outside of the US. I think the growth numbers are somewhere like 20% a year. It's crazy how quickly it's growing outside the US. And the good thing about that is from what I've found is people outside the US aren't as business oriented, especially in Colombia. So I found it almost very easy to kind of outdo other people that do this in Colombia and Medellin. Yeah, it's just, if you from the US, you have more business acumen from what I've found, more of entrepreneurial spirit. So yeah, I don't think that if you live outside the US, you can't do this, or if you're from the US, you can't do this outside the US. I think it's almost better. It's not quite as saturated as it is in the US, and it's growing incredibly quickly outside the US. So enough about that tangent. I just wanted to kind of tell you what I did, because I know from where I was at 3 years ago and how frustrated I was, always looking for something, try to find something that I could do online and that would give me more freedom. It took me a long time, but I finally found something that worked for me. Maybe this might not work for you. It's not going to work for everyone, but I think it's a great opportunity. It's still growing incredibly quickly. It's still not, in my opinion, saturated just because of how quickly it's growing. Yes, it's been around for a while now, but I think it's still an excellent time to get in. So yeah, enough about that. Let's go and get into the apartment and what you can expect to pay. And I'll give you a tour of, the studio, what it looks like, so you can see what this price range gets you in this part of town. So this apartment, I spend so I'll give you a breakdown of what you can expect to pay on Airbnb and what you could expect to pay with an agency long term, because it's going to be very different. If you're coming for a few days, a week, whatever, just traveling, obviously it's going to be a lot more expensive on Airbnb. And and that's what I focus on for all my apartments, is shorter term stays, just because it's a lot more money. It is a little bit more work, but you do get a lot more money. So if you're coming to live here, you've never been here, I would recommend just getting a place for a couple weeks, and then once you're here, you can start to look around longer term. You know, it's your first time in the city, you might not even like it. That'll give you time to kind of look around, see what areas you like and don't like, and kind of go more in depth into looking at agencies, Facebook Marketplace for longer term rentals, and that's going to be a lot more inexpensive. Another thing to consider is furnished versus unfurnished. That's also going to be a huge price difference. If you're just staying for 6 months, a year, unless you're going to live here like long term, I don't really see the point in buying an unfurnished place. It's a lot more work up front, and it's going to be a lot more expensive. And if you're looking to rent this through like an agency, if this is furnished through an agency and you want to rent like 3 months, 6 months, a year, obviously it's going to be cheaper. This is going to run you about 2.5 million peso, 2.5 to 2.7 million peso with utilities, fully furnished. US, depending on the exchange rate, that's going to be about anywhere from $600 to $800 a month. That's similar to some places in the US, but also this, you have to consider this is the very best part of town. You're 5-10 minute walk away from the best restaurants, bars. So yeah, real quick here, I'll flip my camera around and give you a quick tour of the apartment. It's not going to take long because it is a studio and it's quite small. So yeah, let's get into it. So we'll start from the outside here and walking in. So as you can already see, incredible view, wide open windows from floor to ceiling on this side, and also by the bed. Here is the bed, and as you can see, at night you're going to have incredible views sleeping. You'll see the city light up at night. Have a nice hammock here that you can relax on. Then we have a TV, and this flips around. So this flips around so you can watch TV in bed, or you can flip it around to this side where we have the sofa, and then we have the kitchen area here, sofa and kitchen area. We have my drone that I just got. So yeah, it's a pretty basic apartment, but it's very modern, good finishings, good furnishings. We have fridge, freezer, also washer and dryer. Dryers are a lot of times rare in Colombia. We'll flip it around. So yeah, you have a good area to chill on this side, and then of course your bed. And it's kind of nice how this separates a little bit. So you have your bed, but then on this side you have the kitchen and sofa area, and then nice area to relax on the balcony. You have the hammock over here, and then the chairs here, and of course incredible view. You cannot get much better than this. And I never get sick of this view. So yeah, it's very important for me to have in Medellin to have an apartment that's high up, at least above the 7th, 8th floor, so you have a good view, and that's also has a decent balcony. Those two things are essential for me, because just how beautiful the city is. You see the city light up at night. And really, the main selling points, or one of the main selling points of the city, is just how beautiful it is, and the views of the mountains and everything around the city. Real quick, just to scan again from The inside with these views are incredible. And then real quick, I'll show you guys the bathroom and closet, boring areas. So basic bathroom, and again a basic closet in here, but it is walk-in, so it's decent sized. Alrighty guys, and that does it for this video. I just wanted to give you a quick tour of what you could expect to pay for a basic studio apartment in the best part of town. I know before I came here I had no idea what I could expect to spend on an apartment. And if you want a full breakdown of what you can expect to pay living in Medellin, Colombia, I have a video that gives a full breakdown of that. And also, if you're interested in learning about Airbnb rental arbitrage, subscribe to the channel. I cover a lot of videos on how to get started. I also have a course that covers every detail about starting an Airbnb rental arbitrage business and scaling it up to $10,000 per month at least. Sky's the limit with Airbnb rental arbitrage. I'm not saying that you can only go to 10,000. I know a lot of people that have huge Airbnb businesses, and they run hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So yeah, the sky's the limit. I cover searching for the place, what to look for when searching for a place, negotiating with the landlords to convince them to let you do Airbnb with their place. And also, once you have the place, what you should look for furnishing, how to manage, and how to automate. And that's one of the most important things, is we want to automate this to be as passive as possible. So I cover everything in that course. If you want to check it out, it's in the description down below. So that does it for the tour of the apartment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.